shocked really by the number of New Yorkers that were there. There were like people like they're all staying at a hostel from New York, like new Barstool. It was surprising.
Were there any Tommy chants?
No Tommy chants, but some Tommy chanters. There was one guy actually, he might have been fucking with me. He was like, "You look so much like Tommy from Barstool." I was like, "Pull up a picture. I get this all the time." And then like had him like do the thing next to my face. I was like, "Nah, I don't see it."
Hola, bonjour.
Hey, how are you? Welcome back to Drop a Pin. Today we have Tommy Smokes. Now, I never really saw Tommy Smokes as an avid traveler, but recently he's been to two countries that I've never been to. So, hey, he's got that going for him.
Really? You've never been to either?
I've never been to Fiji and I've never been to El Salvador.
Wow, two hot spots.
For sure. I mean, the Fiji trip I knew about because you like won some sort of Survivor experience, or you were invited on a Survivor experience. Because if you don't know Tommy Smokes, he's a diehard Survivor guy. And then when I saw you were in El Salvador, I was like, I just had no idea how that came about.
I thought it was a joke.
Yeah, most
I
people
was like,
did.
he's joking, yeah.
Yeah, no, that was my roommate's girlfriend was going on a girls' trip Memorial Day weekend with like her. It was supposed to be like 10 of their friends were going. And then she one day was like to me and my roommate, like, "You guys just want to come with us?" And we were like, "Sure, why not?" But then all of her friends, they're like, she's from Ireland. So a lot of them were all born in Ireland. So they had like different visa issues and stuff. So it ended up just being me, my roommate, his girlfriend, and one of her friends. So it ended up being a much smaller trip.
Yes.
But yeah, at first I was like, you know what? It's good. It's just good for the sitcom. Like I always like to think of my life as a sitcom.
Yeah,
it's like randomly going to El Salvador with like a bunch of my friends and a bunch of her girlfriend friends. I was like, yeah, why not? Like that's going to be a hell of an experience. And it was a lovely time.
Yeah, and I think like hearing about your experience is going to contrast well with afterwards me and Chaps are just going to do a deep dive on the history of El Salvador, because there was a time in the 90s it was probably one of the most dangerous places to visit on Earth.
I think there was a time in like the 2010s it was one of the most dangerous. Trust me, I did my research before going on the trip. It is, I think 2023 or 2024 was ranked as the safest country in the Western Hemisphere, like lowest homicide rate or whatever. It was terrible. And then the new president, I forget his name, Kababe or
yeah, he's the guy that went all in on Bitcoin.
He just put everyone in jail. He said if you have a tattoo, you're a part of a gang, you go to jail. Now, you know, morally feel however you want. As a tourist, I was very happy to hear that.
That whole due process thing, they're not big on it.
Yeah, I think people just see in the news like, oh, El Salvador, that's where the prison is. Like that's where all the immigrants get sent. But it's like, I wasn't staying at the fucking prison, you know. I was in
Not yet.
Like they were all locked away. I mean, sure, if there was a jailbreak, I might have been in trouble. But and where we were was great. There were a lot of like people from New York there. Way more of a touristy destination than I expected.
Yeah, and that phenomenon has only been going on for what, like 5 years or something?
Yeah, I think even less, honestly.
What was the cost for things?
Very dirt cheap.
Yeah,
like the Airbnb was. I mean, I paid personally like $400 for 3 or 4 nights, I think. It was interesting. The Airbnb, so we're in El Tunco, which is like a beach surfer town, and there's like a boardwalk with bars and restaurants, and we were like the only house on the boardwalk. It was strange. Like it was like a big hill, like this big gated property, but it felt like we were like the kings of El Tunco. Like there was like no other like neighboring houses.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to find, and there was no living room or kitchen. Like no outside, it was outside. There were 3 bedrooms, and then like the kitchen, living room was outside, covered by like a.
Oh, that seems nice. Actually.
Yeah, it was actually nice.
Right.
But yeah, it was very cheap. Like food and drinks were like dirt cheap, and yeah, it was lovely.
So for $100 a night, at least accommodation wise, you can live like a king.
Yes, and I'm sure you could probably stay places that were cheaper too.
Oh yeah, for sure. Now, were you intrigued about going just because they've like fully adopted Bitcoin?
No, I didn't see your tweet until I left. You responded like, you got to go to Bitcoin Beach.
Yes.
And I didn't see that because I wasn't on my phone too much. I saw that when I left. I was like, damn, I should have went to Bitcoin Beach. Like, what is that? I didn't even.
It's like they were it was like a little practice run where it was a community on the coast in El Salvador where they were trying to do all financial transactions just using Bitcoin. I don't know like if that's actually the case, but during the Bitcoin craze like 3 years ago, I was trying to pitch a trip down there because we used to have a sponsor who is the company that,
FTX.
okay.
Yeah.
FTX, they were sponsoring a lot of Barstool content, and I was like, would they sponsor me to go down to Bitcoin and just, live off?
Probably not now.
No. Yeah, I was going to try to just live off of simply Bitcoin for a while.
Now we're Kraken, though. Kraken, upstanding company.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. Nice. Because did you actually win some Bitcoin in like?
Yeah, I did. It was Bracket Busters or whatever in like 2021.
Okay.
I won an eighth of a Bitcoin, and I had it in FTX, and then like I saw the news story of like they're shutting down, and that day I transferred it out of FTX. But I think Glenny like lost his. Like there are people who had it in FTX that didn't get it out in time, and I got it out like that day, thankfully.
Okay.
Is it still worth something?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I have
it's worth a lot.
way more than it was then.
Yeah.
No, I didn't know if you like lose a lot, if it's like 401k vibes, if you pull it out of one thing and you like.
No,
goes away.
you just transfer like the wallet you hold.
Okay.
It in,
Yeah, as long as you're not fully cashing out. So El Salvador, like, how was the food down there?
It was okay. Nothing like super special. They have pupusas, I think is like their main thing, which is just sort of like a tortilla with like cheese and meat or beans. It's like breakfast and lunch and dinner. It was a little strange, but they love their pupusas. A lot of like, Spanish food and stuff, but it was good. It was definitely good. Drinks were good. They had a lot of like, we went, saw a waterfall, did some like zip lining and stuff. So really stepped out of my comfort zone. Really became a man, some would say. Yeah.
Yeah, because I would say you weren't the most well-traveled guy, right?
Within the U.S., I've been to 43 states. So I'm well-traveled within the states. But outside of that, I've been to London, Italy, and Canada, and like Jamaica. So nothing like that crazy. This was definitely the most.
But yeah, your last two trips are not
Yeah, now my
like
passport's filling up.
Yeah, right.
And you felt safe down there? Like
Very safe. We only had one scare. We got an Uber from the airport. We landed at like 1 a.m. and we got an Uber from the airport to the Airbnb. But the Airbnb didn't really have a clear address, which was weird. Mm-hmm. So whatever we put in was wrong. And he drove us like through this town that was very like, not great looking. And we were like, oh boy, like this isn't good. And then we got to this like middle of the road where it's just like abandoned, tons of stray dogs, like a crazy amount of stray dogs. I feel like maybe that's a Latin America thing. But,
yes.
And he just stops in the middle of the road. The Uber driver's like, I'll be right back. Gets out of the car, and we're like, all right, well, this is a setup. Like he's got a bunch of people to come kill all of us. But he was just like moving a thing in the road, and it turned out we had the wrong address in. So a little bit dicey at first, but once we got to El Tunco, feels safer there than walking around New York City. Like it was very, very safe, like all touristy. Never really felt in danger at all.
And in a lot of third world countries, you'll realize even if a place looks very poor doesn't always mean dangerous.
Not safe, right?
Yeah, like there's a lot of you'll meet the friendliest people in neighborhoods like that, but it could go the other way too. Mm-hmm. And so you were just posting up on the beach. Did it feel like you were down in Jamaica or something like that, or was
we didn't really go to the beach much. We had like a pool in the backyard. It felt like I'm sure it's pretty similar to most like Caribbean or island places, but yeah, it didn't feel like. The reputation, I guess it's like you would have been like, oh, I'm in Hawaii or I'm in Aruba or something. Like there was never anything outside of when we did like the excursions and stuff where you'd get more into like nature and small towns. But the beach town itself and the airport, was like very built up, very modern. I can't speak highly enough of the great country of El Salvador.
Was there anything that you saw that was surprising to you, like culturally, that you appreciated?
I don't know if I appreciate it. The dogs was shocking. The number of stray dogs was like, wow, this is crazy. Like they were everywhere. They definitely like, I feel like a lot of touristy countries, they speak English now. They like spoke no English. Like communicating with the waiters and waitresses was a little bit tough. I think that's probably because it's such a new touristy spot.
Yeah.
Like I feel like a lot of the places that have had Americans coming forever, they just know how to speak English. Here it was very much like point at the menu, agua por favor, or stuff like that.
Yeah.
Other than that, I mean, shocked really by the number of New Yorkers that were there. Like there was this beach club at night, it like turned into outdoor like club. And there were like people like they're all staying at a hostel from New York, like new Barstool. It was surprising.
Were there any Tommy chants?
No Tommy Chance, but some Tommy Chanters. There was one guy, actually, he might have been fucking with me. He was like, you look so much like Tommy from Barstool. I was like, pull up a picture. I get this all the time. And then like had him like do the thing next to my face. I was like, nah, I don't see it.
Yeah. I used to have that happen to me a lot, but that was when I just wore shades in all of my content. So then people would see me and be like, you look kind of like that Donnie Does guy
Right.
at Barstool, but they honestly couldn't tell because they had never seen me not wearing shades.
I think it was also the shock of like, he might look like Tommy, so he doesn't know he's in El Salvador.
Yeah, Tommy
Right.
Smokes
Yeah.
is not an El Salvador guy.
No. Now I am. One of their top, maybe,
I actually looked at their Wikipedia, like most famous travelers.
visitors. Yeah.
It was you were there, yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, now that you have all that Bitcoin, I think like their president went kind of all in on it, and then Bitcoin crashed for a while, and everyone's like, "What is El Salvador doing?" He just like screwed themselves. But now that it's back up, hopefully it's booming.
Also, something I was surprised by, or just I guess didn't know, is that the U.S. dollar is their currency. I didn't know that. I assumed it was going to be something unique, but they said for the last like 20, 25 years. So that was easy enough too. Didn't have to worry about conversion rates or getting some own type of money. So yeah, really just a pleasant trip.
Okay. Well, I mean, hey, if you guys are watching this pod, what was the name of the town again?
El Tunco. I think that's
El Tunco.
like the main touristy spot that people probably are going to stay in.
And how much did the flights run you?
They were a little expensive. I think it was $600 or $700 round trip.
Okay.
So, but I mean, everything there is so cheap, and the Airbnbs, the hotels are cheap, where you could make up for it, win some Bitcoin.
Yeah, no, I would say it's going to be way cheaper than if you're trying to go to Cancun or Punta Cana or something like that. So go now if you have the chance.
Yeah, I don't know if there's a lot of I feel like those places have like huge all-inclusive resorts. I didn't see much of that. There were some like hotels, but they're pretty small.
Oh, I'm sure that's coming.
That's coming. I was almost like,
coming.
I might want to buy property in L2. Like, I feel like it's a good investment if you're a real estate guy. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like it's only. I mean, as long as this guy, I guess, stays in power. I don't know what the elections look like down there, but like, I feel like he might just be able to stay in power for quite some time.
Go stumping for him.
Yeah.
Tommy's out there knocking on doors.
Yeah, I just bought property here. We need this guy to stay.
This place used to be a real dump. We don't want to go back.
It would be a smart investment because Costa Rica has always been the hotspot for Americans in Central America, where like tons of people have bought condos down there or homes, but like now I wouldn't call it cheap in Costa Rica. So
No,
I looked at property in Costa Rica. It's expensive as shit.
yeah. And you can't do a mortgage in Costa Rica. You got to just pay it all up front.
really.
Yeah.
That's changed a little bit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like you have to put a significant portion, but you can finance something as long as you have economic ties to the city. Like if you have a job or a business, it doesn't have to be completely.
Down in Costa Rica?
Yeah.
But a lot of these Americans have no ties, but just want like
Right, yeah.
vacation
But it's not
home.
as like cost prohibitive as it used to be.
Okay. Well, I'm looking for a spot to potentially live next Feb because I kind of want to just like maybe rent out my place here and just like find a cheap rental somewhere and,
El
and post
Tunco.
up. El Tunco, okay. Now Fiji, I've been to Tahiti, French Polynesia. Fiji is also an island in the Pacific, but I don't even think it's that close to Tahiti. And we had Bert Kreischer on the pod a few weeks ago. He was talking some shit about Fiji.
Yeah, he said Fiji sucked.
Did he compare it to Arizona?
Yeah, he did.
Okay, yeah, I think he compared it to Flagstaff, Arizona.
I mean, I didn't see that much of Fiji. Like, we were at a resort, and then we were on like the Survivor Island for like 2 days or 2 or 3 days. So like, I didn't see, but I'll say it was what I saw, like way more Americanized and stuff than I expected. Like, there's like a burger, like I was like a Burger King and like Wendy, all that. I was like, wow, I didn't really expect this. Like the city, I forget the name of the city, whatever the main city is there. I think it starts with a V. But we like landed there, wherever the main airport is, and it's very much like, built up. Like people, they mostly speak English. I think the Wi-Fi, like all the internet there was great. Like that, we had this tour guide like with CBS, and he was like, Elon just built like Starlink here. So it was like 5 bars everywhere, like at other, which was kind of shocking.
That's got to be such a game changer for them. Like people that have lived that way, and all of a sudden you have super fast internet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Game changer.
It was I mean, obviously, then when you're at a resort too, it's like, you know,
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, beautiful, like crystal clear blue waters and everything, and yeah, we did a nice little thing where like these tribal Fiji people, or like they've been there forever, and like they live together in a tribe, and they have a chief and everything. Like they put on a performance for us where we tried I forget what it was called, but it was like something they use as medicine or something. Like you sip it, use it as medicine. They cooked us a bunch of food like in a fire pit. Like they made an outdoor fire pit and they covered it with a bunch of like tree barks and stuff. So that was like the most like, oh, I'm really experiencing Fijian culture here.
Now, do you think they were like the real deal? Because sometimes they'll kind of just like
a whiteface job.
Yeah, they'll just like ask some of the locals, hey, we need you to dress in like traditional garb and do a little dance for the tourists.
It's really just a guy in a taxi.
I think like our main tour guide was probably like, yeah, they pimp him out like crazy to do these tours. But that one night there were like 10 to 20 like kids, or you know, they were the real deal, and they were like so happy to perform to us, which was nice, like because they were like, yeah, when like Americans come or tourists come, like this is such a high honor, and like we really want to show you our culture. So they were just like smiling, dancing, and like, you know, there's part of me that's like, all right, it might be a little weird, we got all these like Fiji people like putting on a little pony show for us, but they like they enjoyed doing it. Like it was like, we're showing you our culture. So it's a neat feeling.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I wonder, did you guys drink kava?
Yeah, that's what it was.
It was? Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Because in all those islands in the Pacific, they love kava. And you can go to like a bud shop and buy some here. Like, it's very similar to Kratom, kind of.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. It's a drink. I don't know if you remember, but they had Frank the Tank was doing like ads for a kava shop in New York. They were like booking Frank the Tank on Cameo, and then Frank was just like popping up as like the face of a kava shop.
It's unbelievable. Let me double check that, but I'm pretty positive it was kava.
But no, it's like it's made. In Fiji, kava, known locally as grog or yakona, is deeply embedded in the culture. It's a social beverage central to celebrations and ceremonies, often consumed during formal events like the Suvu ceremony.
Yeah, I think this was definitely it.
Yeah, and I tried kava just in Chicago. I stopped at one of those like spots that you can buy Delta 9 or something.
Just like a head shop.
Yeah. That's the word I was looking for. If you go to a head shop, you can find kava. My friend described it as kind of like similar to alcohol, like an alcohol substitute. When I tried it, I wouldn't really say that. You do feel it.
Like what? Like nicotine kind of buzz, sort of, or?
They seem to suggest it was like everything. They're like, yeah, you're sick, you use it. You want to get a buzz, you use it. Like I think they just like use it for everything.
Yes.
I mean, we took a very small sip. I didn't feel anything. It didn't taste great. But,
it says, it's consumed for its sedative, hypnotic, muscle relaxant, anxiolytic, and euphoric effects comparable to those produced by alcohol. Kava also produces a numbing sensation in the mouth.
Yeah, that that feels like they don't quite know what it does.
No.
Like we just like this shit. Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah, but I didn't know. I think because it's like locally from that part of the world. So if you go to Guam, I guess like they love it in Guam too, all over the place. I mean, it's legal in the U.S. So if we want to do a kava pod at some point,
let's just get ripped on kava.
Yeah, maybe when we're
kava heads.
When we're doing the deep dive on El Salvador afterwards, me and you will just crush a bottle of kava each.
Down. I'm so down for that.
Yeah.
I'm ready to get fucked up on some kava.
Yeah, I don't know what like the amount of kava, like if you told me like, oh, I had a bottle of kava, it's like, oh my god, you're gonna die. You know, like I don't know what the appropriate amount of kava is.
I'm gonna do 8 glasses.
Yeah, quick 8 glasses.
Rip a case race of kava.
It comes from the pepper family, and native to the Pacific Islands. Psychoactive root. Okay. All right.
Just a little bit of everything.
Yeah. I got to get on that. What would you say are the chances that you compete in a season of actual Survivor in the next 5 years?
I'd say they're higher than they were 3 months ago. That's for sure. I think that the experience, like the thing I did helped. I got to talk to Jeff again, Jeff Probst, the host, and like I pitched myself. And he was like, no, like you were funny out here, like you were charming. I think you should definitely be casting or apply again. I think the issue is for me, like I know Jeff now a little bit. Like he knows my name, and I know the marketing people who like organize the trip. I don't know anybody in the CBS casting department, and that's like a whole other brand. Like Jeff isn't going through every audition video being
Right.
like, I want this person on the show.
Grind and film.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So hopefully maybe someone I know through the marketing department can put in a good word. But they seem to think like, you know, doing the thing we did, which will air in like September, will help us, you know, our chance of getting on the show. I'll say 50-50.
It seems like a no-brainer because similar to how the New York Post just constantly writes about Barstool Sports is because they know that Barstool fans will also read that article. Like
Right.
putting you on a season of Survivor, you'd have a bunch of stoolies who have never watched Survivor tuning in just to see how you do.
Listen, from your lips to Jeff's ears.
Yeah.
That's what,
Yeah.
But like, I don't want to tell him. Like if I'm talking to him, I don't want to be like,
Yeah.
bro, so many people are going to watch if you put me on. You know, I don't think he wants to hear that.
Yeah.
But yeah, and he also like, he gets like, I asked about Surviving Barstool, and he was like, oh yeah, like I've seen it. Like he was like, I like when people, he's like, I don't get jealous or mad. Like I think it's good promo for the real show. So I don't have to worry about like, you know, hopefully
Yeah.
like them like shutting that down or anything. So hopefully the relationship is built now that if I apply again in like, I think August and September is the casting cycle for like, it'll film next spring. Mm-hmm. Try to get in season 51 or 52. And if not,
cool.
53 or 54. And if not, 55 or 56.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
It'll happen eventually. I mean, I don't watch a lot of Survivor, and so I would probably be really bad at the strategy of it. But how important are just like your outdoor skills or just your adaptability? Like,
Not that important.
okay, because
I mean,
like, you
like-
could throw me on an island, I would sleep fine. But I don't know, like, how much.
It
is
was
that gonna
worse.
help you?
So we slept one night there. It was brutal. It was like I think the camera guy said it was like the second worst weather night he ever worked. Like it was just nonstop rain. It also, I guess another surprise, the sun sets at like 6 p.m. Maybe it was just that time of year, but it was just 12 hours of darkness. And we don't have our phones, so we don't know what time it is. Just sitting on bamboo, getting rained on for 12 straight hours, being like, I have no idea what fucking time it is. Or like definitely you know, some hardship. I'm sure war
Nah.
might have been a little bit worse,
No.
but yeah.
I never had to deal with not having my phone. So
Yeah, that's true. It doesn't rain too much in the Middle East.
no, it doesn't. Yeah, it's pretty dry. Yeah.
I'm actually shocked about that. I assumed like in the military they would kind of be like,
No, you can't have your phone. No. I'm just
okay,
kidding.
yeah. All right.
Let me get this story up quick.
Yeah. They
yeah,
do let you have your Snapchat location on, just so they know everybody in case they want to. Like they're like, it's fine. Everybody needs to know exactly where you're at, so they can bomb you.
Are you allowed to use your phone at all when you're like on tour?
Like if you're actually deployed.
Yeah. Once you're deployed, is there like a certain time of the day where they're like phone hours?
Not really personal phones. I mean, it depends on where you're going. Like if you're going to Okinawa to the Jungle Warfare Training Center, sure.
Yeah.
If you're going to Fallujah, no.
Okay.
Because they don't want
What
to.
about like when you're at
That's
the-
what
you're
happened
at the
with
base?
The reason why it happened is like what happened with Ukraine and Russia. They tracked an entire unit. They knew exactly which way they were going because they had like Ukrainian bots essentially act like they were women in local areas trying to get with the dudes. The dudes are opening up links and they're able to track the entire movement of like an entire column of where they're going to go. So we're not allowed to bring cell phones and shit because it's an operational security thing.
Yeah.
Makes a lot of sense.
Same thing. Reason why with
Same thing
Survivor.
with Survivor.
Yeah.
You can't have the other tribe.
They don't want you leaking stuff.
No,
Yeah.
plans.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Survivor's like the real deal when they go out on that island. Like
Oh yeah, like
they have to build their own shelter. They're
Yeah,
not-
yeah.
okay.
So they gave us, and they said the real contestants get the same one. You get a quick little survival training course, but there's no like we didn't eat. You know, you get coconuts and stuff. Sometimes you get rice if you like win a reward or reward challenges. You could win a burger, or pizza, or something. But no, like that's certainly not like. It's impossible for anyone to think that that's fake because you could literally see, like especially when it's 39 days, someone would start day one. You see them day 39, they very clearly have lost they'll lose 30 or 40 pounds or something.
Yeah.
Like it's very clearly the food didn't. I mean, it was only 2 days. Like the hunger never really got to me. It was the sleeping was brutal.
And that's once you are that hot and sweaty and miserable, hunger is not one of the first
Exactly.
feelings
Yeah.
that you go through.
Do you have like sleeping bags or?
No, we built a bamboo shelter,
Oh shit.
which was bamboo was 100,000 times more uncomfortable to sleep on than I expected. I slept for
hard.
like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They have to provide you at least with water, or are you also?
Yeah, there's a water well, like with clean water. You get water, but nothing else. And like there's coconuts in the island, and there's like bamboos and shit, so you could build.
If there's
a shelter.
bamboo, there's water too.
Yeah, but like they gave us like a well where it's like this is clean drinking water.
Coconuts are scary, man. Like one almost killed me on my honeymoon.
I was falling?
I was posted up on the beach. We had been there for maybe an hour, and then I got up to walk towards the water, and like right afterwards, a coconut fell and landed on my towel. And it's like they're so high up in these trees that if that had like hit my head,
Oh, you're dead.
yeah, hopefully not. Like definitely severe concussion, maybe my skull cracked. Yeah,
Maybe not dead, but about as bad as you
My
can
brain
imagine.
would be a mashed potato.
yeah, mentally disabled.
Ever heard of
the
Christopher
rest
Reeve?
of my life. Yeah, and I guess like if I checked out the stat, like how many people do coconuts kill a year?
Oh, I love this game. I want to guess.
All right, yeah.
I'm gonna guess.
We're talking like falling, right? We're not
Yeah.
talking like allergies.
Well, I think we include allergies. I'm gonna go 34 deaths a year on coconuts.
I was gonna say 800, but that seems high now that you just anchored me.
I could be way low.
I could be way high.
Yeah,
We could both be way low.
we could be. It
That's
could
the
be
beauty of this fucking
thousands.
game.
It is.
Yeah.
You never know. It's so
You could
exciting.
like anywhere from like 6 to like 10,000, I believe.
Right,
There were like
yeah.
6 people died of a coconut
Yeah.
or 10,000.
So I guess people, like a lot of people online say they kill 150 people a year, but that is apparently an urban legend, and it's unfounded and most likely exaggerated.
so probably about 34.
Probably about 34. Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably about 34
34
deaths.
sounds right. Yeah, I guess it's more rare than you'd think. You're more likely to be injured by cars, stairs, or vending machines than coconuts.
Oh,
Well,
if you
certainly the first
obviously.
3.
Yeah. Vending machines, though. I mean, you have to be an idiot to like accidentally pull a vending machine on top of you.
Wow.
Get your hand stuck though, maybe, or
Yeah.
No, I think it's probably people like shaking the vending
Oh,
machine
yeah.
trying to get a snack out, and then it falls on them.
Could also be burns from the soup ones in Japan.
So, yeah. Shout out to some vending machines.
burn your skin.
Those are great spots.
Those would be bad ways to go.
But have a vending machine land on you?
Yeah, or a coconut.
Or yeah, I mean,
Or
I mean, a
hot soup
coconut would be kind of
dispenser.
hilarious. Like the sitcom thing.
Yeah.
That's a great series
but it-
finale.
Yeah, series finale. Yeah. That's how it ends.
Yeah.
He went to El
Don't
Salvador.
It's like way better than the Seinfeld ending.
yeah, or the Sopranos ending.
Yeah. But it also would end up with like the light going out too, just
Yeah.
like the Sopranos one did.
Yeah, no, in terms of like that actually wouldn't be the worst way to go. Just get hit on the head.
What do you think would be
Really
the worst
hard.
way to go?
I mean, I don't want to get too dark, but I mean, burning alive, I would say.
Yeah.
Burning alive, boiled alive.
Ants.
Ants.
Buried by ants.
Getting eaten
I've
alive
always
by
thought-
ants would be fucking
I've always
brutal.
thought like drowning, but specifically, I feel like you see it in movies where, say, you're in a boat or something, like a big tank, and it's getting like filled up with water
Oh,
to the
yeah.
ceiling, and you're
Slowly fills
like
up.
sucking for your last air at the top, and then
Yeah.
you're just like, well, that's it. That would be
Yeah.
tough. I have a fear of fire escape ladders falling and crushing my head as I walk through the city. I feel like those don't get checked enough, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like
but-
people think about the grates on the ground, like, oh, I don't want to walk over that. They're not thinking about the ladders.
Yeah.
They have no idea what they're getting into.
They have no idea what they're capable
Yeah,
of.
the risk that they're taking every time they step outside.
I mean, the reason you see scaffolding like all over New York is because like 20 years ago, a
Yeah.
woman was killed by a brick that fell. So now they legally have to get their facades inspected like every 2 years.
And her dad owned a scaffolding company, the
Oh,
woman
yeah.
that it hit. And they put in all kinds of lobbying. And the guy that his daughter died is a billionaire because of it.
Oh, I mean, I'm sure, but it also
good
kind of like
trade-off.
Yeah.
it made
Yeah.
New York a way less beautiful place.
Yeah.
Apparently, I haven't been there this week, obviously, because I'm here, but apparently the scaffolding outside the New York office has been taken down for the first time since we moved in 6 years ago.
Whoa.
Shit. That took forever.
Forever. It's been up.
Yeah.
I think the
Yeah,
day
people
we
were getting in
moved
trouble for walking around up there in like 2019.
Yeah. We got a few emails about that.
My bigger concern is walking around New York and having an air conditioning unit fall on my head.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Because like I've installed those in New York and I did not do a good job. Like, mine could have easily fallen out.
Or the drip you get just from that AC drip.
The
You're
drip.
like, God, I hope that's water.
Oh,
Yeah.
I miss that. Miss the AC drip on a hot New York day.
Nothing better than used AC water.
Hit you right on the neck.
Yeah, right on the cheek.
Do you have any trips coming up, or like what would you say is on your abroad bucket list now?
Nothing like planned abroad coming up.
You should do Love Island.
I tried, brother.
You'd be so good at it.
Applied. I've always said I want to go to the part of Greece where it's really white. Like not people wise, like the aesthetically white. Like what is that, Santorini or
Yeah.
Mykonos or Santorini?
Yeah. Like all the buildings are just white and you're on the beach. I've always thought that looks cool. Maybe a honeymoon, but then I got to find a wife.
The whole
I gotta
thing.
get married.
Yeah.
So that's a whole fucking thing. Just to go to Santorini.
Yeah. And I would agree with you. Those places look beautiful. I've heard they are like just kind of insanely touristy right now and just
That's
overrun
fine.
by
I
Brits.
like touristy spots. I'm not trying to immerse myself too deep in the cultures.
They did.
I want to be with a bunch of other Americans being like, oh, that's pretty.
You'd be with mostly Brits. I think it's a lot of Brits
They're
abroad.
close enough.
Thank God for Brits abroad because they might have an even worse reputation than Americans abroad,
Earned.
especially when it comes to Greece and Spain.
But it's earned.
Yeah, it's very earned.
I know a lot of people love London. I've been there twice. I went there to see the Yankees play the Red Sox with like my dad, and then I went with Nick Terraney a couple years ago. We did a video on the Queen or the King's coronation. London doesn't do it for me. To me, it's just too similar to New York.
Yeah.
And it's like if I'm going abroad, I want to feel something completely different than just New York, but the people
Completely
talk funny
agree.
and drive on the wrong side of the road.
Completely agree as well. I think London's a very cool city. It's a beautiful city, but yeah, if I'm going abroad, I want kind of more of a unique experience
Right.
than just like
Where would you say you're well-traveled, man? Where would be somewhere I should go that I would like, but it would also take me out of my comfort zone a little bit?
Tokyo.
Tokyo. Yeah. I don't know. Like, how do you do on long flights?
We went to
Fine.
Fiji.
Yeah.
Well, Fiji, they got us laid down. They got us first class laid down.
Oh,
So
shit.
That's nice.
Just
Yeah,
slept through
that's
the whole thing.
different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not paying for that on my own dime.
No.
Tokyo would be great. The Balkans in general.
It's like Serbia and shit.
Yeah, that's Serbia, but it's also Croatia. I mean, if you go to Dubrovnik, Croatia, very touristy, but you probably wouldn't be leaving your comfort zone there. But you could go to Albania. You could talk to Tom Lay about that. He recently went to Albania.
Or
It's like,
Nadu.
it's like Turkey and Albania both have areas that are similar to Greece, but probably, half as expensive.
Interesting.
Yeah, so those are like cool destinations. I'm trying to think a little more exotic, but still, that you could handle. Medellin, Colombia. I think you would.
Yeah, I have friends that have gone there on like bachelor parties and stuff.
Okay.
But
They
I think I
enjoy-
want to go. I mean, I'm not going to say I've seen all of Latin America. I went to El Salvador. But
Yeah, yeah.
I want to go somewhere like I think Asia would be a good one. I think Tokyo or
Mexico
South-
City would be fun too. I mean, that was great.
Yeah, that was great, and that would feel very different than El Salvador, I'd say. But yeah, if you go to Asia, Hong Kong, I think to this day is my favorite city.
Really?
Yeah, just like with how unique it looks. You're a New York guy, so it's got the New York vibe with how densely populated. Like walking the streets of Hong Kong, it's the only comparable experience to New York, just with like how many tall buildings there are in such a small space because
Interesting.
they're both islands. But it's on like Manhattan's very flat. It's like all those tall buildings, but you're also on a mountain. So yeah, you could do a quick little Hong Kong and Tokyo trip. And that would be like Hong Kong, you would be far enough out of your comfort zone, but most people there speak English. So,
Get
Yeah,
Che to go.
that's
Get
always a
Che to
big
go.
thing for me. Is like the English barrier.
yeah.
Like I'd like to be able to communicate with people, and they have to have Uber.
Yes.
Those are my demands.
Yes, they have. They definitely have Uber. Yeah, you should go with Che. Che, his dad was born there. Che knows nothing about it.
I would love to
Yeah.
take us.
Okay. And especially you also don't need a visa for Hong Kong. You can just show up. You do need a visa for China, and when I
You mean
went,
like a passport or
you definitely need a passport,
Oh.
but you can just show up and get your passport stamped. You don't have to like apply for anything.
Oh, I didn't even know that was.
Yeah, Fiji was it's a right. There's a lot of countries that you have to get. Like when you went to India, you have to get prior approval from the country before you actually get there. We have a lot that we can go to. Visa on arrival is what it's called. Like whenever you get there, they let you in. But there's some that you have to like get pre-authorization for before you go.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. Well, Tommy, thanks for coming on. I don't know if you had anything else.
No, that's it.
All right, sweet. Good luck on Barstool Summer House. I think that might be going on when this episode drops.
Oh wow, we're really pre-taping this, yeah.
Well, I don't know. This will be out in like a month from now, I'd say. Which
gotcha. Yeah, I think we start in August. Yeah, hopefully it'll be fun. Hopefully I don't get canceled by the time this airs.
You're a huge consent guy, so
I
think you'll be
nothing
okay.
I love more than consent in the word yes.
Radical consent, yeah.
I'm a radical consent interest.
Yeah. Are you into this? Yes, but like how?
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm dripping. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks, Tommy.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Today's episode of Drop a Pin is brought to you by our good friends at Mountain Dew. Me and Donnie are headed to Camp Barstool this weekend. We are going to be drinking so many Mountain Dews. The new cans are going to be flowing. Everybody's going to be having a great time, whether we're playing the softball game out there, we're on the blob, we're doing whatever we're going to do. Extreme activities involves an extreme can of Mountain Dew. Nothing goes better with summer than Mountain Dew and hanging out with your friends with that refreshing citrusy kick of Mountain Dew. I mean, you saw it last year. It was so much fun. We're going to be out there all week. If you're listening to it on Monday, everything's going to really kick off on Tuesday. I can't wait for you guys to watch it. And all of it is thanks to Mountain Dew. The mountain is calling. Experiencing the refreshing citrus kick of Mountain Dew is going to make your summer even better. Grab one today and get that new can in your hand. Today's episode of Drop a Pin is also brought to you by our friends at DraftKings. Join the fun on DraftKings Casino, which is ranked the #1 online casino experience. They got everything you've been searching for, thousands of exciting games, huge jackpots, exclusive offers, and so much more. And listen to this. New players get 10-day welcome offer with 500 spins on Huff and More Puff when you play just $5 to start. What an unbelievable deal from our friends at DraftKings. Download the DraftKings Casino app today. Sign up with the code DROP, D-R-O-P, and spin your favorite slot. The crown is yours, only with DraftKings. Go get you on some casino. If you're just sitting around at home, you're in one of the states that you could play, make sure you do it. Download the DraftKings Casino app, sign up with the code DROP, and spin your favorite slots. The crown is yours with DraftKings. Today's show is also brought to you by our friends at Fair Harbor. I know it's crazy to say, but if you've ever worn any uncomfortable men's bathing suit before with that awful lining, you can understand what I mean when I say our next sponsor, Fair Harbor, and their Breeze Knit line bathing suits legitimately changed my life. This episode is brought to you by Fair Harbor. It's the makers of the world's most comfortable swimwear. I'm going to be wearing it at Camp Barstool all week because last year I didn't have Fair Harbor and I got that chafing. Every dude knows what I'm talking about. You get a little bit of chafing because that mesh is not breathable at all. It just makes you itch. It gets uncomfortable. You even get a little bit of a rash. Disgusting. You know that mesh lining in swim trunks that every guy hates? With Fair Harbor built-in boxer brief liner, their trunks are softer than anything you've ever felt before. Fair Harbor trunks are perfect for swimming, lounging, or soaking up some sun. A variety of designs and styles make finding your favorite pair easy, and Fair Harbor's super soft built-in liner keeps you comfortable all day. You'll never go back to mesh-lined trunks ever again. Trust me. So you can head to fairharborclothing.com/wonton, WONTON, and use the promo code WONTON for 20% off your first purchase. Once again, that's Fair Harbor, HARBOR, clothing.com/wonton for 20% off on your first purchase. And make sure you use our promo code WONTON so they know that the Wonton Don sent you. Again, that's 20% off your first purchase. Head to Fair Harbor, HARBOR, clothing.com/wonton for that 20% off. Let's get back to the pod.
All right, so we just heard from Tommy Smokes, and it sounded like he had a splendid time in El Salvador. But now me and Chaps are here to bring the mood down a little bit. talk about the country's dark past, because it has not always been like that.
No, it hasn't always been. And I feel like even though he's saying that the tourism is there, I've done a big deep dives, and we interviewed Tommy about 2 weeks ago on his experience. So since then, I've read 2 books about El Salvador, including what's going on with them right now.
Yes.
And it is essentially tourism washing what they're doing in a big way, like in El Salvador. Like they're bringing in all kinds, like the president who is basically acting as a dictator. They are going to like international surfing committees and like paying surf influencers to come down and give basically what Tommy did about their country. And it like some of it makes sense, like why people is popular, because he did get 88% of the re-election when he ran.
Yes.
But running for re-election is against the Constitution of El Salvador. Like no one is supposed to run again. But he ousted the entire judiciary in El Salvador.
Yeah, I did see he got rid of like their Supreme Court.
He got rid of the Supreme, didn't get rid of it, but he put in loyalists into those positions. They forced a lot of times through gunpoint like opposition leaders to stop running for Congress. So they have 60 total seats in their Congress through the Senate and the Congress, and that 57 of them are on the president's side. They have this 30-day martial law that is part of their constitution, 30 days. That has been going on since 2022 now.
Yep.
It's continually like extended and extended and extended. There's prisons that people are ripped into across the country and put in without any due process whatsoever. Like the things that they're doing are insane.
But on the bright side, crime is down for the first time like ever.
Yes.
They had just decades and decades of horrific crime.
They have. And I mean, I think it's difficult to even really put into words like how how bad their murder rate was. Their murder rate was horrific. Like for a long time, it was very, very bad. I'm not saying that it's not.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that there hasn't been some quote benefits from it, but there's reportedly thousands of people who are in these terrible prisons that you're sitting nut to butt for months at a time.
Yes. So I was reading up on these prisons too. Should we first like take people like from the start of the violence there?
Sure.
So then it kind of explains like why they just threw so many people in prison.
Sure.
Like it kind of like it goes. So it was a Spanish colony, whatever. They conquered the Mayans there. And then just for, hundreds of years, it was a very... like all of the wealth was pretty much just in the hands of 14 families in the country, and the main like all their wealth came from coffee.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like a one crop economy, and these 14 families had all the power. So
like the definition of an oligarchy.
Exactly. Yes, and it was just like that for a while. I think they had like quote unquote presidents, but they were pretty much dictators. I was reading about one of their presidents he was the president in 1944, Maximiliano Hernandez Martinez, who was a kooky guy. He believed that just shining light through like different colored bottles could cure like most diseases.
I mean, that would fucking hit on TikTok right now. Like when this many people are down with like essential oils and shit.
Yeah.
Like in emeralds and jewels or whatever. Like, crystals.
Yep.
That guy would be a smash hit on TikTok.
Yes, he was like, if you put a light in a purple plastic bottle, that purple light will just kill all germs.
Instantly 5 million followers on TikTok.
Yes.
Instantly.
And this story kind of has a dark turn. His own son had appendicitis, and he refused to allow a surgeon to operate on him. Martinez believed water in blue bottles hit by sunlight would cure his son's condition, and his son ended up dying.
Who would have thought?
Yeah, that is wild. When it's your, like, I can see telling other people to do that, but when it's your own son and you're the president and a surgeon's like, dude, we just got to take out this appendix.
We got to take it out at the very least, amoxicillin. At the very least.
And he's like, no, just break out the blue bottles.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, he was president at a time when just all the wealth was centered in the very few. And it was like that for a long time, but the peasants there and the indigenous people just got more and more unhappy. And eventually the Civil War erupted. That was in 1979, lasted until 1992. So the entire 80s, there was just a brutal civil war there. One of the things that kicked it off, besides like hundreds of years of just horrible conditions and inequality, the government murdered the archbishop down there. And he was like a priest that kind of just wanted to help the poor there and was very anti the government. And they murked his ass during mass. And that was kind of the final straw. That's when
it's like Boondock Saint shit.
Yeah.
There was a firefight.
What does it say about him? He was a critic of the military regime, advocate for the poor, shot dead while giving mass in a hospital chapel.
Wow.
That's fucking low. And then, his killing became the catalyst for the 12-year war. I think 75,000 people died during that war.
Yep.
And guess whose side America was on?
The not good guys.
So, I don't know if there was like a good or a bad side, but they were on the government military regime because they were anti-communist.
Yeah, and that's like, there wasn't a whole lot of communism that was rising in El Salvador. I think it's just basically Cold War that's what they used in order to go to places. I feel like it's pretty similar to the War on Terror, where you're like, weapons of mass destruction in Iraq. No, there wasn't. Like, I feel like they used communism in the late 70s or mid 70s as a reason to go into Central America. At that time, we were pouring in $1 million a day into arming the resistance in El Salvador, sometimes even more than that, to a tune of $6 billion total that the United States paid in and around Central America in order to, quote, quash communism that was happening there. And that went across multiple different political ideologies, from President Carter, who was a Democrat, to Reagan, to H.W. Bush, and then even it ended right before Clinton took office.
Yes. I mean, to be fair, though, like, it seems like Americans were terrified of communism back then. So they were kind of like any super left-leaning movement, which, like, that's what the peasants, they were trying to organize in El Salvador. They were like, this could, at least lead to communism. We're going to go all in on the right side. But, I mean, it's kind of like, we were sold a lie. Like, we were sold, it was the, like, domino effect. If, like, one country falls, then the rest of the world's going to fall to communism. I mean, I can get why they were a little scared when it went Russia and then China. Both became communist. Those are two enormous countries.
And Cuba right across the water.
Yeah, and Cuba right across the water. But then it's like, shit got out of hand. Like in Vietnam, Ho Chi Minh, who we fought in the Vietnam War, he was like, he loved the U.S. And then he was like, oh, wait, these guys are attacking me? Like, by all accounts, Ho Chi Minh was not like a horrible guy. At least compared to, like a Stalin or a Mao Zedong, who were actually killing.
Good comparison.
Yeah, who were actually killing a lot of their own people. But so we funded the military regime in the Civil War, and they were doing bad shit. They kind of had like death squads where they would just come and like pick up a bunch of people that they thought like might be left leaning or supporting the rebel cause, and just like throw them in a van and kill them. So like a lot of civilians died during that war, and lasted until 1992. And here's the thing: once they called like a truce or a ceasefire in the Civil War and the war stopped, that's when all the gang violence picked up.
Yeah, and the gang violence, did you know that both of the Barros and the MS-13 all started in the United States?
I did. I learned that while I was researching for this.
Yeah.
So like MS-13, started in the U.S. and then I know right now we're trying to deport a lot of El Salvador people, especially if they can like tie them to a crime or something. But we did that same thing back in the 80s or something.
Yeah, it feels like everything historically is just cyclical.
Yeah. So that's exactly what we did in the 80s. We deported a lot of our gang members to El Salvador, and then they ramped up they became even like more powerful down there. And there was just, you went straight from the violence of the Civil War to just like rampant gang violence that was kind of like lasted throughout all the 90s.
Yep.
And at one point, the government tried to call a truce between the gangs. It only lasted for like a year maybe, and then it just ramped right back up. So the reason the current president, who's actually a young dude,
Yeah.
when he was elected president in 2019, he was 37, which is crazy to think about. You know, he's like younger than you running the country of El Salvador.
Yeah, I would be terrible at running El Salvador.
Yes. You would suck, dude.
I don't even speak Spanish.
Fuck.
That would be brutal.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bukele is his name. He is the son of a Palestinian who moved to El Salvador.
I did not know that.
Yeah, he's the son of an immigrant that left Palestine in 1969 to go to El Salvador. He rose up, like went to school, he got his schooling, and then he became the mayor of the capital of El Salvador. And when he did that, he had access to certain prisons, and he started this process of essentially bribing these gang leaders that were in the prisons that were in his city. And he would say that if you could get the people in your neighborhoods to vote for me to be president, then whenever I come to power, you won't have these super harsh conditions. So these gang leaders that are in San Salvador are able to go outside. They're able to contact their families. They're able to like make phone calls and stuff like that, like they weren't before. And so he shifted it's almost like a Godfather situation where they're running stuff from inside the prison, but they had such tight holds on the communities because of the insane gun violence and gang violence that they would go into the cities and they would essentially coerce the people to do it. And then some of those people that were in the gang, now they are policing. So they're some of the ones that are policing and grabbing up other people and putting them into prisons now.
And they've put a lot of people in prison.
They have put a ton of people.
I think Bukele's government arrested over 70,000 suspected gang members in just over a year.
In just a year. And that's because of the special 30-day emergency martial law that they had that has been extended since then. But there are 1,600 prisoners per 100,000 people, which, to give you an idea, almost 2% of the entire population in El Salvador is currently in prison.
Yeah, and the prison conditions aren't great. I mean, they have these mega prisons.
CCOT is the name of their biggest
that's what I was reading about.
Mega prison that they have.
40,000 inmates in one prison. So that's larger than the town that I grew up in. I don't know if it's larger than
the UN. They're currently fitting 40, but they estimates right now, because they don't even tell you who's in those prisons. There's estimates now based on like pictures that there's actually 65,000 people that are in some of those prisons. And not just that they have, the United Nations looked at the prison. That prison is the size that it should only hold about 11 to 15,000 inmates.
Shit.
So they are just absolutely filled in day and night. There is no toilets. The toilets are into the ground. There's no privacy whatsoever.
The cells are not normal cells. It's 65 to 70 people per cell, and just 2 toilets.
2 toilets. I mean, it's
so like that. I think is one cell.
Yeah, they don't ever get choose. And the president came out flat out and said, and he didn't run on any of this stuff, but he said, if you go to one of these prisons, you're not coming out. Like, these are. And without due process, without anything like that, they go to these prisons and they're not able to come out.
Yeah. There's no like, oh, we're gonna have what's it called? They do parole, something like that. Yeah, you're not having parole.
No.
When you get sent to solitary confinement, it's also pitch black in those rooms, so that probably scares a lot of people straight. They're probably like, I'm not gonna fuck out because I cannot go back in that dark room alone.
Yeah, well, I mean, a lot of these people, there's more and more research going in of how many innocents are there. But there is like a scare tactic of going in, taking over cities with armed forces that aren't supposed to be there. Like, it's kind of like our Constitution, where there's posse comitatus, which means that the military is not supposed to be involved in civilian policing at all unless it's a legit state of emergency. They had the same constitutional protections there, completely thrown out of the window by a 30-day takeover.
Yes. I mean, they were, do you think they were close to a state of emergency with just how much gang violence there was?
Sure. I mean, I think El Salvador, when you're talking about the murder rates like they had, I think it was triple of what the United States was at the height. I believe it was like there was 300 deaths per 100,000 people or something close to that as far as their murder rate, and ours typically hovers around 5 or 6.
Yep.
So it was substantial, but now their murder rate is less than ours. It's actually one of the lowest in like the world as far as murder rate goes. But also, those statistics are being supplied by that government that is ran by a current dictator that has complete control of judiciary, complete control of all the stats that are going on. So it's hard to say. It's kind of like, did Kim Jong-un really shoot an 18 when he played golf and hit 18?
No.
But that's what was reported. Is the decline in crime rates and murder rates in El Salvador real, or is that just what?
Tommy Smoke says it's real.
Yeah.
He didn't see any crime when he was down there. But no, and it is kind of the thing. It's like, I can see why the president has a lot of popular support when you don't like, when they don't have a lot to compare it to. All they know is that, okay, my life is slightly better now than it was when the gangs were in control. So I'm just, I'm not going to complain. It's the real reason why, like in China, some people are like, oh, don't like the Chinese people want to be able to vote and have a democracy. It's like, they don't really care. They just know that the kids' lives in China now are so much better than their parents' lives. Like when their parents were alive, there was mass famine. People didn't have enough food to eat. Now there's tons of fat kids all over China. So they're not thinking, oh, but like we can't vote. We have no say in what the government does. They're just like, hey, at least now we got like food and shit. And like,
yeah, which makes sense. And I mean, in the reporting of the book that I forget the name of it, but I'll put it in like the comments or something. But they talked about that. They talked about how there's grandmothers that are thrilled with how everything is going because now they can take their grandkids to the park, even though maybe one of their sons is in prison and they know that he wasn't involved in drugs or gangs. But they look at it for the overall community and they're willing to like put some of those due process protections aside. Now, there is some evidence that is shifting popularity from this guy because that's what happens with revolutionaries. Like revolutionaries come into power and they are extremely popular from the beginning. That's the way that they come to power. They're great at speaking. They're great at persuading. They're great at making things sound exactly how it should be. But then the methods in which they use to become that dictator, they apply that and then it shifts. The public shifts once because eventually, if you keep imprisoning people who aren't involved in gangs, who aren't doing this, are you really any better than the gangs? Like if you're taking people off the street and putting innocent people in the street, because you die in these prisons.
Yes.
Like this prison isn't like you're going in and you're hanging out like you're in Norway. Going to those prisons is essentially a death sentence. You're just not dead yet.
Yeah.
You're dead, but you're alive.
I know. And like, how does the government even have the money to just like, because
they don't.
You still have to feed those people, I would hope.
They don't. El Salvador has gone tremendously in debt. Their debt has gone up 800% since he took office because they took out an $80 billion loan that was mostly tied to cryptocurrency.
Yes.
Which that was an official currency, but it no longer is.
Yeah, it is. So I mean, like, Bitcoin price is very high right now, but when they tried to do like a mass adoption and use Bitcoin as their main currency, I think like only like 4% of the population like actually used it.
Yeah, because there's a bunch of like crypto bros that love this guy because he would go on like Twitter and stuff and be like, buy the dip.
Yeah,
like putting rocket ships out.
Yeah.
But
diamond hands.
These stats from El Salvador, the murder rate. Listen, this is the actual numbers. In 2015, it was 106 homicides per 100,000 people. In 2022, 7.8 per 100,000. And in 2024, 1.9 per 100,000, which is a historical low anywhere in Latin America.
Oh, shit.
So, like, if those numbers are real, which, again, it's hard to say what's real and what's not, because you could put out anything. Like, once you're a dictator with that level of influence and that level of control, because in 2022, whenever he was trying to go get this money in order to do this, their Congress originally said no. He went in with the actual army, got people out, killed some of them, and then took over and had that get passed in order to do that extension of the 30-day. Okay. And now it just keeps happening over and over again. Mm-hmm. I think they're at like 4,000 days or something like that into it.
Shit. Yeah.
Something crazy, some wild number. It was supposed to only last into 2020, and it's still going.
All right. Well, on the bright side, American tourists can now go there.
Yeah. I mean, but it's kind of like you have that same argument with Saudi Arabia, right? Like where that they're doing terrible things, humanitarian public beheadings, all that kind of stuff. But they're also putting a bunch of money into golf. They're also doing WWE. They're doing all those types of things. So they're
trying to do a one-bite pizza festival.
One-bite pizza festival. They're trying to do all those things, and it is like a little bit of entertainment washing of like the human atrocities that are taking place there.
Yeah. Well, I hear they have great surfing.
They do have great surfing.
They have great surfing. They've got a lot of volcanoes too. If we're trying to end this discussion on a positive note, although I don't know if having a ton of volcanoes is a positive note.
Beautiful.
It's beautiful. But their capital city got hit with a volcano in like 1914. I think like 100, 200 people died. So it wasn't. I mean, it was bad, but it didn't like destroy the entire city.
It also, like going through and reading about this, the Dulles brothers might be the biggest pieces of shit, like they go underreported in the last 70 years.
They were the masterminds behind like the CIA's involvement and just tons of coups.
In everything.
Everything, yeah.
Them and H.W. Bush was really heavily involved in it too.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the reason why. There's many people that believe that's the reason why Reagan was nearly assassinated, because the Dulles brothers and their CIA influence, including H.W., who was the director of the CIA right before that, like that they think Reagan was nearly assassinated so H.W. could take over, and then the whole Dulles plan would really go out.
Yeah, and during that plan, like we took zero account into like what side was committing more atrocities. It was just, okay, which side is more anti-communist? And then boom, you're getting all the funding and all the training. And just like, that was the only thing taken into account. It wasn't like, is this government best for the country's future and stuff? And sometimes they wanted someone who's like worse for the country's future.
I don't think it was necessarily even truly about communism. I think it was what is the biggest economic impact for the United States. Like who's going to give you the better deal? If you're going to get coffee from Guatemala, who's going to give you the best deal? I think that communism, that's what I was trying to explain earlier. Communism communism and oil have been the excuses of what are the reasons behind. So communism is what they say the reason is. Economic impact and what we can get from the economics of it is the real reason.
Yeah. Yep. I think that's
which I don't think that takes a genius to figure out.
Yeah, because that was like wasn't one of the countries in Central America, like they nationalized their fruit companies, whereas like U.S. kind of controlled a lot of the fruit companies.
You're talking about the Banana Wars?
Yeah, maybe the Banana Wars. Was that in?
I think Banana Wars was in primarily Colombia,
or was it in Hawaii?
No,
because maybe that was the reason we. Where were the Banana Wars? Yeah, because that was like, they were like, no, we're going to be in charge of our own fruit. And then we were like, no, we can't let that happen. I think we talked about it on this pod before.
Yeah, Panama, Honduras, Nicaragua, Haiti.
Okay, yeah.
The Dominican Republic.
Yeah, damn. Like all over the place. And that, U.S. justified. So yeah, we kind of went into those countries claiming that we're trying to protect American lives, property, and investments, mainly investments.
Mm-hmm.
If we invested in those banana plantations, you aren't claiming them for your own country.
No, I mean, and we did that throughout even the Eisenhower plan after World War II, where we go over to different areas and be like, dude, we got the fucking bombs. You're going to do what we say.
Yeah.
Like we took over Egypt because of that, like had a coup in Egypt because of it. Like we used military might to influence economics and like political standings in basically every country in the world in that time period. Still do.
Yeah. Yes, we do. I mean, now when you think of, okay, what's like U.S. military intervention at the moment, you think Ukraine,
Israel for sure.
But I'm sure there's a lot of other.
Oh yeah, the Horn of Africa were heavily involved in. fighting Al-Shabaab were very much involved in.
The Houthis?
The Houthis, yeah.
Wait, no. The Houthis are the ones in Yemen, right?
Yemen, yep.
Yeah, because we got to...
Hezbollah, fucking, like, we're involved in so many places across the world. That's why when people are like, oh, it's a peacetime for us. No, the fuck it's not. We're just doing shit by proxy.
Yeah.
Like, and that's what we've done forever. Like, in the CIA's involvement in Central America, we have been heavily involved.
Yes. And it would be like, I don't know if in our lifetimes, do you think we'll see the U.S. Heavily involved in a non-proxy war again?
Like direct combat?
Yeah, like
I mean,
a lot of boots on the ground.
If history is any indicator, for sure.
Yeah.
I think that it goes in 20-year waves, honestly. Like if you look at, with the exception of how close Korea was to World War II, which is pretty mind-blowing. Like at the end, the absolute tail end of World War II, you have 20, 25 years until World War II really kicks off. Then you have Korea. Then you have a 15, 20-year gap, and then Vietnam. 15, 20-year gap, Desert Storm. 15, 20-year gap, the War on Terror. So what's it going to be in 2030? Something?
Taiwan. Stay tuned for
could be
USA versus China, the big shebang.
Oh, well, shit.
Well, yeah. I feel like that was a good bookend to the Tommy Smokes discussion. And now on Getting Cultured, we have Jackie. This was filmed before Barstool Beach House, so we're not talking Barstool Beach House. I even forget what we talk about, but I do remember really enjoying the conversation. Yeah, so
good teaser.
Let's get into that.
All right, welcome back to Gettin Cultured. Today on Gettin Cultured, we have Jackie. Jackie, thanks for joining us.
Hello, I'm honored. Thanks for having me.
I remember you started kind of a debate around the company when you told KFC and Fights you were going to Mexico on a solo trip.
Yeah.
And like, KFC's not super well traveled. And he was like, I don't think you should be doing that as just like a girl alone. But you went to Mexico City. Me and Chaps just came back from there. And I think that's a great spot.
There was never a time where I felt unsafe. Like it felt, I'm also like kind of naive to that. Like, you know, maybe it was unsafe, but it was lovely. I'm
sure there are unsafe parts of the city. I mean, it's the largest city in North America, but if you stay in those main neighborhoods like Roma Norte, Condesa, there's one other with like all the fancy hotels, like, you'll be more than fine.
Is that where you guys stayed?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay, cool.
What's your question for us today?
Okay, question is, so I kind of said before, like my sister and I are trying to figure out like a sister trip type thing. And we were debating either going summer or like we don't really have that much cash to be throwing around right now. So we were like, maybe we save up winter and we do some kind of like fun Christmas themed trip. So I want to know what the most like Christmassy city is, what the like holiday, almost like Hallmark story type Christmas movie type city would be.
I would say in all of Germanic Europe, so Germany, Austria, parts of France, maybe Prague, they all have these big Christmas markets. Like
Belgium.
The winter, in Belgium. Those are just, I would say through most of Europe, they have these crazy Christmas markets, which are a lot of fun.
What goes on at the Christmas markets?
A lot of
like tchotchkes.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're selling tchotchkes.
Yeah, big tchotchkes.
Love a tchotchke, yeah.
Mulled wine, which is like warm wine.
Yeah.
Great stuff. They'll have those raclette wheels, those giant like wheels of cheese that they like melt and then scrape onto your sandwich.
Okay.
And they're just very warm, very festive, tons of lights, tons of trees everywhere. And they'll be huge. I think the oldest one is in Strasbourg, France, right on the France-Germany border. They've had a Christmas market there since 1570. So some people call Strasbourg, France, the capital of Christmas.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a perfect, maybe we'll check that out. That's a really good answer to that. What about, we had heard about like Montreal was good?
That's a lot closer. And Montreal has a very European feel to it. So like, I'm sure you could get the like Christmas market experience there. I mean, they have Christmas markets in Chicago and New York, but they're not quite as authentic.
So are the Christmas markets kind of like the ones in New York, but like on steroids.
Yeah.
Much better.
Yeah. I would say so. I mean,
I would say they're probably on par, honestly. Like, if you look it up, New York is listed as one of the best Christmas cities that there is, too.
New York is a Christmas city. I don't think it's because of their Christmas markets. I think there's just something romantic about being in Christmas.
I'm just saying overall, the vibes of New York or Christmas, like, that's going to be one that's super high up there.
I feel like TikTok killed the Christmas markets, though, because there were so many TikToks that was like, you know, here's what I'm getting. Like, I'm getting the Dubai chocolate strawberries and all this. And then the lines were out of, like, crazy. And it's like you can't even move in the markets.
There's some smaller towns like Bethlehem, Pennsylvania is a spot that they do different things, like have some reenactments that you can go to. If you do want to travel abroad, Normandy, France, I believe it's Normandy. In World War I, they had Silent Night was written because of Christmas. Like, it was... Like, there was a lull in the battle between, I think it was the French and the Germans that had a battle, and they stopped it so they could all sing Silent Night. So they have, like, a candlelight visual there every year, and Normandy's beautiful, like, just to go visit besides that. But Normandy, France would be a good spot to go to for a different type of vibe.
And, like, why go to Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, when you can go to Bethlehem in the West Bank?
Where you want to go right now.
Where Jesus was born. I guess they do a midnight mass at the Church of the Nativity, and it's a powerful experience for pilgrims and visitors alike.
They also do a midnight mass and a nativity scene at a church that I worked at in Pensacola, Florida, but instead of camels, it's just like weird-looking goats that have a lot of deformities.
Yeah, okay.
Why do the goats have deformities? Or just
I think they're just too closely bred.
Growing up in Florida. Growing up in Florida, we'll do
Florida
that for
goats.
you. So there's Montreal in Canada if you're thinking you want to stay a little bit like in North America. There's also Quebec City in Canada, which I've heard is like very cool around Christmas time. A lot of snow.
It doesn't like have the same allure that like the other places you threw out. So you think, but like it would probably be cheaper. But like, do you think it's just better to go big and go to like?
I think if you went to that part of Europe, like Vienna, that would be fun because you could probably take trains to a few other spots too.
Yeah.
So you could like, you could check out a place in Germany, a place in Austria, and then you could maybe check out Prague, which I've heard is incredible.
I've been to Prague in the summertime and it's so cute. I would like, but I have not seen it in the winter. I would imagine it's like a little storybook. What about skiing? Have you guys?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
If you're trying to ski.
Yes.
And I've actually celebrated Christmas here. The Dolomites in Italy. Yeah. They're about 2.5 hours north of Venice. The most beautiful mountains I've seen in my life. I want to do a full deep dive on these mountains. I would go back there in a heartbeat. We had a wonderful Christmas. So, I mean, that's the only one of these places I've been to, so I can 100% vouch for it. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't insanely expensive. The Olympics are going to be there, but that's not till Feb. So if you went around Christmas, you should be okay. We were probably paying just around like $100 a night at most spots. And they have Christmas markets there. They have these like lodges. So even if you weren't trying to ski, one time we just went up to the lodge and just hung out there all day because they're just surrounded by beautiful mountains and great drinks and food.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you judging like is the skiing good or is it just like the culture around it?
I did ski one day and I thought it was great. Mm-hmm. I snowboard. I'm not like an advanced snowboarder. Yeah. It was wonderful. I don't know if it's like the best skiing in Europe. Like maybe there's some French Alps that are like more known for that. But in terms of like the beauty of the mountains, I would say the Dolomites. Just insane looking mountains.
That's really good.
And then my last recommendation is in Finland, Lapland. It's the official hometown of Santa Claus, a city called Rovaniemi. So you can meet Santa. You can cross the Arctic Circle. You can ride reindeers. You can see the Northern Lights.
Question: are reindeers? They're real. They're real animals, yeah.
Yeah, in North America they're called caribou, and then in that part of the world they are called reindeer. But they're essentially the same thing.
Yeah, they are real. They can't fly in real life.
No, I get that. I understand that. I get that mixed up. I get narwhals are. They were real.
They are real.
They are real. They're currently real.
They still exist, yeah.
Okay.
Not extinct.
And the horn is a tooth.
Oh. Like, do they use it
To puncture ice.
to puncture?
Puncture ice. So they also use it to like stab fish.
Stab and puncture, yeah.
It's not really a tooth though. That's more like a horn.
It's a tooth.
It's a horn, but it evolved from a tooth.
Oh.
I guess yeah. Don't ask me how, but if you've got enough millions of years, a tooth can slowly just move up your forehead, turn into a horn. If that horn is helping you survive.
How old were you found out that they were real?
Narwhals?
Yeah.
I think I have always known. I mean, people call them the unicorns of the sea, so that might throw you off.
I think I was 37.
When you found out that they were real.
This is like the Mean Girls clip of
Yeah, like, because I was
dinosaurs.
like, wouldn't that be so cute if it was real? Like, when he's like, bye, buddy, I hope you find your dad.
Yeah.
And I was like, that'd be so cute if you could see one. And McCartney, my 12-year-old, was like, Dad, they're real. And so I
Your son told me.
Googled it, and David Arbel was like, in the waters that are cold, there's a narwhal.
Dude, yeah.
The narwhal comes swimming up. I'm like, holy shit.
Okay, well, I
it's
feel
real.
better that wasn't as dumb of a question as I thought.
No, not a dumb question.
The idea of like certain adaptations like that makes me like I was thinking about kangaroos and like why is hopping, like why do they hop? Why is that their mode of transportation when like getting away from predators, it's like just making them really fast, like cheetahs? That feels like why do kangaroos have to hop?
It's a great question.
Dude, that's like
That's
a little more than I bargained for.
Is that, sorry, yeah.
Which I'm sorry.
I have
I don't know how we got here after the
I mean, that's a
conversation.
great question.
Well, we can do a whole pot on that.
All right. I mean, like the short answer, it's the most energy efficient way for them to move long distances across the vast, dry Australian landscape.
Okay.
That can't be true.
It just
That's what
can't-
Google says.
I know, but that's a bullshit answer. They're just trying to put something in. That's like when your parents ask your parents and they give you some bullshit answer that's not true.
Yeah.
I'm saying that is not true. There's no way that hopping is more efficient than gliding. Why would they be the only mammals that
Kangaroos
do
are
that?
too big to glide.
How would they glide?
Yeah, and you can't glide. There's no trees. You can only glide from tree to tree. You're on a flat, dry, not a lot of
No, I'm talking about
vegetation.
gliding, running like we do. They
Yeah,
could be
running.
bipedal. They have 2 feet.
I bet you a kangaroo beats a human in a race.
I bet, but
Human, yeah,
but
but-
that's just because it's like a faster twitch. I feel like if a kangaroo could really get itself going, if it could propel itself with its tail and both legs running.
and like because their arms are so short too that
I'm not buying what you're selling.
You think that jumping and hopping is more efficient
Yeah,
than
because
running?
their whole body is built for that. They've got those crazy legs. The tail can like bounce them too.
Oh, I don't think, is there another animal? Well, bunnies.
Rabbits, yeah, rabbits hop. There's a lot of bugs that hop.
I just feel like what an unserious way to get away
Wow.
from a predator.
Yeah, you look like an idiot.
So kangaroos can hop at speeds up to 40
45.
to 60 kilometers per hour. That's 25 to 37 mph. But over long distances, they cruise comfortably at 20 to 25 kilometers per hour, 12 to 15 miles per hour.
What would we consider in long distance?
Uh,
A marathon?
it's got to be like when they say long distance, I assume they're talking long distance because we're talking Australia.
At least a 5K?
No, I'm thinking like a marathon. I bet you they could
20 miles 20 miles an hour for 26.2 miles. That's a long. If they
right,
could do that, I'll take it back and I'll give props to the kangaroo. Until then, they need to get
Listen,
their shit together.
I will not comment further. When we drop a pin in Australia, we're going to get to the bottom of this.
Okay.
Actually, whenever we hire that person that Big Cat said we could have in Australia.
True. We got to get on that.
Yeah, we'll
Who
put
are you gonna
that
hire?
up there.
Big Cat gave me the green light to hire an Australian employee, so I just got to fly to Australia now and find one.
That
you
might
make
be a
one
fun
like
Christmas thing too.
What?
Christmas down under, have summer Christmas.
Yeah, you always see the photos of like surfing Santa Claus down there.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea actually. Okay.
All right. Well, thanks for coming on, Jackie.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks,
for
Jackie.
sorry to let me know about the kangaroo thing. When you guys come up with it.